Spring has sprung in the southern hemisphere, and it seems that astrologically things have woken up as well. Here in November we have retrogrades, we have an epic full moon, and we have lots more to talk about. So let's dive in and explore what's happening astrologically in November and which crystals and oils we can work with to help navigate this month. Hello, I'm Adam Barrelay and welcome to this video where we're going to explore some of the significant astrological events that are happening in November 2025 that are going to impact us wherever we are in the world. And then we're also going to look at the crystals and oils to best align with to help us navigate the lessons and the opportunities that arise from those different shifts. Now, whereas September and October were rather quiet and there wasn't too much happening, it's really crammed in November, and there is a lot happening, especially of dwarf planets and significant asteroids going into retrograde. I'm not going to go through all of them, but make sure that you do subscribe to my newsletter at adambarrelay.com and follow me on Instagram or Facebook, because I'm going to go through some of those minor ones a little bit more as the month unfolds. Otherwise, you're going to sit here and listen to a 2-hour video. But I do want to talk about the first asteroid. She is a significant one, and she's going into retrograde really early on the 2nd of November. Now, she is Sappho. Now, Sappho is actually named after an ancient Greek poet or poetress. Whereas we are familiar with most of our astrological bodies being named after deities, Sappho is a real human that existed, and you can actually get hold of some of her poetry. Now, what's really interesting, she lived on the island of Lesbos and was renowned for kind of really leaning into the creativity and the sumptuousness of being alive. She was also famed for her same-sex relationships as well. So she is kind of like a lesbian asteroid. When she goes into retrograde, what you may find is relationships with not people of the opposite sex, but of the same sex may be challenged, that you may just not get along, especially if you're a woman, with other women. There may be some strains that will come up here. And what she allows us to do with this retrograde is to look at what are the issues that we have with women. And I know sometimes women can be best friends to each other, and sometimes they can be really nasty to each other. These kind of things could come up around this time. And how do we work through this to actually resolve this, to create true intimate connection? Now, it doesn't have to be sexual connection. It can just be, having your sister's back and getting along really well with other women as well. So this can also bring up a time when we question our own sexuality. Our sex drive might go down a little bit, and also our creativity and our ability to be creative as well. This is a really great time to reach for Zincite. Now, Zincite, most of the time, it's a natural crystal grown in an artificial environment, often in the zinc smelters of Poland. And Zincite really gives you back this va-va-voom. It's really a libido drive, a sacral chakra, illuminating kind of crystal. Really, really great for helping you to reach out to other people, want to connect with people, not just to withdraw into your own cave, and also to allow your creativity to flow. Remember, she was a poet. She had a way with words, and she had a way of expressing herself. And you may struggle a little bit with that, but Zincite can be really great for helping you with that. Now, there is an essential oil that's really hard to get called Zdravetz. Zdravetz is a bit of an aphrodisiac oil, so it really leans in well with your Zincite. It's found in doTERRA's Passion Blend. This is available in a 5 ml that you can diffuse, or a roller that you can actually anoint yourself in. And around that 2nd November, I know I'll be diffusing and anointing myself with passion to just help that creativity to keep flowing, so that I can work out how to best navigate any issues that may come up. So then we have happening on the 5th, we have our full moon. This month, our full moon is in Taurus. So this is our time to work on our financial position and how comfortable we are in life. So this is the money moon of the year. If you want to up your abundance, this is when you want to be doing working spells. This is a really great time to work with green Aventurine. And in my Crystal Confab episode on green Aventurine, we talked a little bit about a practice of charging some seeds, planting them in the earth, because remember, Taurus is an earth sign, putting a green Aventurine on top with some clear quartz points, and allowing our dreams to manifest. And if you do that on the full moon, that can be a really productive way of helping to magically bring money into your life. Of course, you want to follow that with some actions as well. Green Aventurine, very well-known crystal, but it is one of health, of wealth, of physical well-being, and of luck. All the types of things that we really want to look at around the full moon in Taurus, so keep that with you at that time. Now, Ylang Ylang works really well. Oh, sorry. Got a bit of plant with me as well. Ylang Ylang is a beautiful, sumptuous essential oil, really relaxing, really blissful, and really leans into that feeling comfortable, luxuriating in life, enjoying the physicality of life as much as we can. So working with the Ylang Ylang around the full moon in Taurus can be really beautiful. Now, just a couple of days later, we actually reach one of our significant points in the solar year. If you are in the southern hemisphere, it is Beltane. Now, Beltane, the easiest way to describe that is it's very similar to Valentine's Day. This is when we're celebrating the fertility that is bursting forth on the earth. You can see all the beautiful spring flowers that are sprouting over this side. When I go for my bushwalks each day, I can see all the different colours of the rainbow in all the different wildflower flowers that are sprouting. You may also be able to hear the amount of birds that are around. Life is kind of bursting forth after the cold winter. And so we want to bring this energy out. We want to connect with our heart chakra, and we really want to connect with other people on an intimate level. So if you're in the southern hemisphere, that can be really powerful. Keep your Ylang Ylang around for that as well, because Ylang Ylang is really it helps us to get out of our head, into our heart, relax more, and form those more intimate connections. Grab your watermelon tourmaline. I love watermelon tourmaline. I argue that it may be the best crystal you can actually get for the heart chakra, because it encompasses both that green and that pink. Really, really beautiful and great for Beltane if you're in the southern hemisphere. Now, while we in the southern hemisphere are celebrating love and fertility and new birth, those in the northern hemisphere will be honoring the opposite, the end of life and death. It's Samhain, or Halloween, here on the 7th of November. Halloween isn't necessarily on the 31st of October. It will move from each year to year. So this is a time when we honour death, we let go of those that have passed, we start to think about our own mortality, as well as connect with those on the other realms, because the veil between your realm and the other realms is going to be at its thinnest. This is a great time for mediumship and just honouring those that have passed and set up a legacy of where you are today. Whether you had ancestors that were good or bad, they taught you lessons and gave you strength and spiritual and physical DNA that allows you to thrive and live right now and watch this YouTube video. So this is a really great time to work with Chiastolite. You can see Chiastolite, it's that beautiful brown crystal with that graphite black cross in the middle. Really nice for remembering that we are mortal. We're not going to be around forever, to take advantage of this time and not to fear the turning of the wheel. Working with Helichrysum, also sometimes known, this yellow flower that when picked never wilts, it never dies, it is immortal, and is thus called immortel. It's a really great one for mediumship and allowing us to kind of heal the wounds of the past so that they don't stop us from enjoying the present, and we don't end up dying over regrets one day. So really great if you're in the northern hemisphere for honouring that. And I do have a separate video on Samhain that kind of goes in a little bit deeper and gives you some other actions and activities you can do as well as if you're celebrating Beltane. Now, if that wasn't enough, we've had a full moon, we've had Samhain or Beltane, and then on the 10th, Mercury is going to go into retrograde. It's going to start in Sagittarius and go back in Scorpio, but my main concern with this one is this is rather fiery and passionate two signs. There may be some kind of fiery and passionate communication, and we might want to tone it down a little bit. So remember that each Mercury retrograde gives us an opportunity to learn how we can become a better communicator. And I think this is really valuable, having this lesson 3 to 4 times a year, because communication is key. It forms bridges or breaks down bridges between people. We know what's the secret of a good relationship? Communication. So how are we going to tone this down? Well, my favorite grounding crystal for all Mercury retrogrades, but this one in particular, is Botswana agate. You can see the beautiful lines in this, formed through volcanic activity in Botswana many, many years ago. Because of its fiery nature, it'll still help you to feel that Sagittarian and even that passionate Scorpio energy, but it'll ground that energy and make sure you channel it properly and don't get carried away. Combine that with Arborvitae. Arborvitae, meaning tree of life, is a big cypress that's found in in parts of Canada. And the oil in it's so thick that nothing will eat at it. So that's transposed into the essential oil, where you find that you won't actually get bothered so much by other people getting a little bit erratic, a little bit overly passionate, saying things bluntly, and there may be a lack of kindness around this Mercury retrograde that goes from the 10th to the 30th. So just be wary of that during that time. Now, coming in just couple of days later, Jupiter's going to go into retrograde as well. What do we know about Jupiter? Well, Jupiter is the biggest planet in our solar system. His gravitational pull actually keeps all the planets where they are. We would be sucked into the sun if we didn't have Jupiter. So we're pretty lucky in that way. In fact, Jupiter actually is about good fortune, growth, expansion, and good luck. So when Jupiter goes into retrograde, this is a time when we don't tend to have that expansion. You may find that you have less opportunities, less invites to go out, money, if your income's not fixed, may reduce, or you may find extra bills will arise that mean that you have less money in the bank at this point in time. What are you meant to do when you've got less things to do, less invites, less money? Well, this is a time for you to go in and get everything in order. We can't constantly keep expanding. We must take a breath and a step back. So this is a chance to do that while Jupiter is in retrograde for pretty much the rest of the year and leading into the start of 2026. So take some time to connect back with your spirituality, prioritize, get those tasks done that haven't been done, and it may actually help this kind of holiday period not to be as crazy as other ones. Work with Sugilite. Sugilite really helps you to connect with that abundant flow of the universe, but also connect with your spirituality. So hopefully everything doesn't dry out for you, but you can also connect with what's more important to me and can I realign and not always be in the state of hyper growth. Combine that with lavender. Lavender is both relaxing, but also is abundant as well. So these two are really beautiful to work with around Jupiter retrograde. Just make sure that you are, doing all that filing, finishing off the courses that you bought ages ago that you had the best intention to do, getting your taxes done, all those types of things are really important while Jupiter's in retrograde. Finally, on the 20th, I think, let me just double check. I had to write this down. It was too much to remember today. On the 20th, we have our new moon, and this is in Scorpio. Scorpio, as opposed to Taurus, the opposite sign. Taurus is all about our physicality, and Scorpio is all about our psychology and even our spirituality. Although Pisces is a bit more spiritual. So this is about, whereas Taurus is about feeling comfortable in our, wanting to have a comfortable house and have enough money in the bank and all those types of things, Scorpio wants exactly the opposite. They want experiences. They want to dive into the deep psychology and the essence of being human. And when we have the new moon in Scorpio, this is a time to look at, okay, so what's the next chapter in my evolution? This is where we want to work with Covellite. Covellite is a really beautiful, sparkling, metallic blue crystal that allows you to kind of connect with your shadow self, connect with your soul, and work out, okay, what do I really want in this world? Combine that with black pepper. Black pepper sheds away bad habits, whether it be if you're a smoker and want to quit, we work with black pepper. If you want to get rid of the bad habit of being inauthentic and lying just to please other people or putting on masks, wearing masks, then black pepper helps you to get rid of that as well. Scorpio wants you to dive into who you are and explore who you are and make a resolution on how you can do that in a new way when the new moon is in Scorpio. So, as I said, lots happening. We've got Varuna going into retrograde, which is a dwarf planet. We've got Isis, another asteroid going into retrograde on the 4th as well. Way too much to cover in one video. So let me summarize. Sappho, the asteroid, goes retrograde on the 2nd of November. This is where you want to get your Zincite out, ideally orange Zincite to work with that sacral chakra, as well as Zdravetz or passion essential oil from doTERRA to help allow that creativity and that connection still to happen. It's a really great time to focus on the sacral chakra. On the 5th, we have our full moon in Taurus. Grab your green Aventurine, start working on bringing more money into your life, and luxuriate around this time. Slow down a little bit and grab your Ylang. Keep the Ylang with you if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, because 2 days later, on the 7th, that's when it's Beltane, the festival of fertility and love. Celebrate that with the Ylang and watermelon Tourmaline. But if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, it's about honouring death and the role it plays in life. Grab Chiastolite and Helichrysum. Mercury retrograde, 10th of November. Make sure you're not getting too blunt and just be a little bit more compassionate to those that are kind of a bit too fiery or say things that they don't really need to say, blurting them out without giving it enough thought. By working with Botswana Agate and Arborvitae, you should be immune to most of that and just be able to take a step back and not take anything that's said too personally. 12th of November, that's when we've got Jupiter retrograde. time to get things in order. Before you can expand, you must take a step back and reorganize everything to make sure you're at your peak for the next expansion. And on the 20th, it's our full moon in Scorpio. Grab Covalite and grab black pepper to allow yourself to go within and work out what is the next kind of frontier for you to psychologically tackle. Make sure you stay tuned to the YouTube channel and subscribe to my newsletter at adambarrowlade.com and my other socials for other updates and for deeper dives throughout the month as well. But remember, whatever is happening up in the heavens, Mother Earth has got us. She gives us support in the form of crystals and essential oils. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I'll talk to you really soon. Take care and blessed be.